Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the Macman, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Bullish and Beyond, where we are long-term bullish on stocks, crypto, and life. And right now, we are hitting all new highs, so we are very near-term bullish. Wow, it is going crazy.
It's been crazy.
Apple popping recently, Meta, Nvidia, Robinhood, and crypto is taking off. Bitcoin hit an all-time high, just scraped 124K. What?
Crazy.
ETH got within, 50, 60 bucks of their all-time high. Absolutely insane. Things are soaring. A lot to talk about. So let's dive into it.
Let's do it. I say we tackle the Bitcoin first. That's crazy. New all-time high.
Why is Bitcoin at 124? And it's scraped there. It's at 117 as of this call. Call right now.
We talk about it all the time. It's the M2, the big beautiful bill, liquidity. We've just had between Europe, Asia, and America 7 trillion dumped into the world. Overnight.
It's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere. And guess what? The dollar is under 100. So there's capital flight, meaning people don't want American debt because it is going very, very down in value.
You're not going to make as much money. I mean, yeah, you're going to lose long term possibly.
So people are like, well, shit, I can't buy bonds. I can't buy, anything the dollar is really attached to. Maybe we buy gold. Maybe we buy Bitcoin. Maybe we buy other
I would say buy Apple
metals.
and Nvidia.
Or you could buy stocks, right?
Yeah.
But these are the decisions that, allocators have to make given the current macro environment. So you're going to see flows to assets that do or tend to do better in a devaluation of the currency, which would just be any asset like a stock or share or even homes, real estate.
Yeah, real estate.
Things like that.
Solid play.
Yeah.
I like it. Land's not going anywhere.
No, and all of that is not changing. Our government's addicted to printing money. They're addicted to it. So, I am comfortable being long Bitcoin, short the dollar, 24/7, 360.
I mean, there's more money flowing into these stocks. I mean, for a lot of the same reasons.
Yes.
If you're focused on the best companies out there, they're going to see more inflows, as there's more M2 money printed. So I think that's where we stick with these market leaders, which I am all about.
Absolutely. And even inside of those companies, right, they're making the same decisions as allocators. They would rather have compute demand. They'd literally rather have rack space than T-bills. They'd rather have land than T-bills. They would rather have commercial real estate than T-bills. Yeah. So you're seeing the most investment of all time in the hyperscalers. It's because they're building a future, but in part, they don't have good strategies with the capital they make from their very profitable businesses due to some of these macroeconomic, things to consider.
Yep.
The risk-free rate is no longer risk-free right now. And whenever that happens, alts go crazy. Crypto is banana zone. I mean, over $1 trillion entered and exited the alts last cycle in 2021 to 2022 inside of a year. $1 trillion in, $1 trillion out. Like that.
Market's moving.
Yeah. What happens is prices don't stop going up. People take leverage. They get more and more fervorish. They get more and more optimistic, more and more leverage. One black swan event can cause a drawdown big enough to start hitting the first margin call. That gets called. People start going broke. Then we keep cascading down the wall of leverage at each price point.
It's called a smart investor, know when to get back in.
That's right. And
maybe some short-term risk, but could be coming right back.
And there's a lot of open interest on Bitcoin long, over 300 billion. So it's only going up with treasury companies and this flywheel that Saylor invented.
So many new treasuries companies now. Now companies are doing it with Ethereum, Solana. I mean, everyone wants to be the next Michael Saylor, and can't blame him. He's getting a lot of attention and was the number one fastest growing company in S&P. So,
and then you got BMNR right behind him with Tom Lee, Bitmine.
yep, that thing is going nuts.
He is on pace to get 5% of Ethereum supply in the next 2 years, and that would be 12 times faster than Michael Saylor.
Wow.
So he is attacking
impressive.
it. He's attacking it.
I mean, now's the time if you want to make a name for yourself. I want to get back to something you said about the hyperscalers, because a bunch of companies just reported, Amazon, Meta, Apple, companies like that, and people were scared that the hyperscalers weren't going to increase their spend and keep going with the same spend rate that they had on all these AI products and servers, and a lot of them are actually increasing again. I am doubling down on my conviction about Nvidia because these companies just keep buying more and more, and demand is increasing, not decreasing. And there's almost no end in sight. I mean, Corey, is one of the Nvidia partners and has these AI data centers, and their CEO just the other day said demand is insatiable. They literally cannot scale fast enough.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I mean, because they're borrowing compute from CoreWeave, even though they already have so much invested in these data centers on their own. You can't even keep up, even when you're doing 50 to 60 billion a year just in that capex.
Yeah,
that's insane.
We talked about this on a podcast maybe 6 weeks ago, how I had said that this specific area is going to become like oil, where there's infinite demand and it's just a unit of supply. We're already seeing it. And what that means is there's a place for this forever. It is not only a hyper growth space, it's also a very safe space. Like, if you have a barrel of oil, it will be sold. It just will be. You know what I mean?
No problem.
Like, no problems. There is infinite demand. It doesn't matter.
Demand
if
for
you got
energy energy is what's going to hold back this whole AI industry from exploding to an exponential level. But I don't think. I mean, I like some energy plays like Oklo and stuff like that. I'm not as big in traditional energy. I think maybe it might be overcrowded. I'd rather stick with more on the chip side, with Nvidia and companies like that. And shout out to AMD. They've been absolutely crushing it the last few months. I have no AMD or anything in that, but I've followed them a lot, and they're coming out with some server products that are going to start competing more with Nvidia in this next cycle. I still think Nvidia is ahead, and the biggest difference is their CUDA software. Once you are in their software ecosystem, the cost to switch away would be absolutely enormous. So switching away for an untrusted and untested system would be a major, major risk. And sticking with Nvidia, basically is very low risk because they're coming out with a constant refresh on their chips. Each one is so much better and uses less energy, but we're still going to need more energy, and the inference demand is going up at a level that is unprecedented. While we're on Nvidia, dude, I am tripling, quadrupling down on my conviction on Nvidia. I'm putting my money where my mouth is too. I am investing more in Nvidia. I pulled the trigger on more shares, even as it's hitting an all-time high. And I bought some long-term calls and some short-term calls. And I just finished reading a book called The Nvidia Way, and listening to these people that have worked with Jensen, a bunch of people in the C-suite, some of the founders are interviewed in the book, and just a bunch of other people around him. And even Jensen himself was interviewed for the book. And his style and culture does not exist like almost anywhere else. He is truly unique. He is Nvidia. Nvidia is him. He lives and breathes it. And there's no one really right now that I'm seeing that's as visionary in the space. And, I'll compare him to like a Steve Jobs, put him up there with an Elon Musk in terms of vision and where it's going. But then he's a computer scientist engineer. So he understands at the micro level the technology. And, a lot of CEOs out there, might be good managers, but they don't know the technology at a, deep, deep level. He understands it at the deepest level, the same as anyone who's leading the product team. Like he's all in. And he's working hours that are just obscene, but he loves it.
Yeah.
And his culture that he drives, it's absolutely nuts what he expects of people, and people want to work there because it's a culture of excellence. And the amount of talent that he has acquired, he has his 3 people on his top teams have been there now for 3 decades. So It's like he has staying power. People love working with
those
him.
guys are rich. They're crazy rich.
That's one of the reasons people stay. He does 4-year vesting on stock, and if you're gonna stay around when your stock's going up 200% a year.
30 years, they're billionaires probably.
They're all billionaires. And Jensen's
they gotta be. Yeah, they gotta be. I mean, he does not own a lot, and I know he gave a lot to employees, so that's actually one of the craziest.
Yeah, I think he only has like
this.
3%, but he's still worth 120 billion or something.
Crazy. Wow, that's really cool, and I get it.
I recommend the book to anyone who's interested in Nvidia. It starts off with the early days. I mean, they almost went bankrupt multiple times. When they first launched, and hearing all the different stories about how they overcame things, and raised money when they needed to instead of going out of business, and then fought back against Wall Street with the CUDA investments. Like their stock didn't go up for 4 years, and all these Wall Street analysts are all pissed. But Jensen knew he was investing in the long term, and he never wavered from the long term mindset. 100% conviction. He knew where the market was going, and he called it. He was investing in AI in 2013. No one was even using the word AI in 2013. Like, yes, it was around, but like you had to be that computer scientist to like even say it. No average person was talking about AI.
100%. Yeah.
So he's years ahead.
AI's been a concept in computer science since the 80s. So
yes,
people have been researching it, trying to build the first neural networks since then, probably. And that's just the dates disclosed to the public. I mean, it's likely the government has been doing black budgets on it far sooner. I mean, the internet was actually
DARPA,
a black budget.
Back in the day or something.
Yeah, it was a black budget project for 20 years until they opened it up to private interest through black channels. That's how
they
Oracle
did change the world.
It changed the world. Mainly Oracle. A lot of people don't give enough credit to Oracle. I mean, they built the first server, the first database.
Yes.
All through
Larry
the CIA.
Ellison's genius.
Yeah. And it's crazy how he got into it. He was a car salesman. Like, it's a super interesting story. Yeah, super interesting story. How him and 5 other buddies made Oracle happen. And they were all self-taught computer guys. And they just happened to be in the right place at the right time, got connected to the CIA crazily.
He's one of the longest running CEOs in tech. Jensen, I think, is the longest current CEO in technology. Larry Ellison, he handed it off, I think, a decade or so ago. Now he's, I believe, officially the CTO and chairman of the board. But he is, Oracle is crushing it on their AI investments. Oh my! And their stock has gone bonkers. I think Larry Ellison now is worth a couple $100 billion.
I mean, he's the largest real estate owner in Hawaii, I think. Oprah and Zuck are coming after him, but he loves his Hawaii and his fighter jets. Have you seen that? He buys decommissioned fighter jets. Yeah, he flies them out of Hawaii. That's why he bought a massive piece of land in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to have your own island if you want to fly fighter jets. I mean, that's about right.
Yeah, you can't launch that from the mainland. What are you talking about?
Oh, I can't imagine.
It would freak everyone out.
Getting a pilot's license sounds fun, but then a fighter pilot.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got time to play now.
Yeah, when you make $100 billion, I guess you can become a fighter jet. So
he made $100 billion in the last 2 years.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So yeah, that's why I'm super bullish on Nvidia more than ever. And just a near term bullish thing was they reversed the decision about selling the H200 into China, and Jensen, the CEO, had to negotiate with Trump, and he ended up doing 15% of revenue of the chip is what he's willing to pay to the government to have that export license.
Wow.
Very unique model, and really kudos to Jensen for getting to that and being able to sell it again, no matter what you think. If you don't think we should sell it out of China or not, that's still an unbelievable business move.
And kudos to Trump for
for taking advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think America wins, China wins, and Nvidia wins.
It's kind of a win-win-win.
It helps for peace if we all came together over things. Like, it would genuinely help for peace.
That would be nice if we only could. Apple stepped up to the plate a lot too. They had to invest another additional $100 billion, committing to 600 to be able to avoid tariffs. But Tim Cook, I mean, some people don't give him enough credit. That man negotiated a pretty crazy deal.
Yeah.
More investments. I mean, it only helps Apple in the long term anyways. These investments are going into new chip foundries and other specialty glass makers and mining activities. This company MP, they just did a big deal with to get rare earth metals from and stuff like that instead of buying from China. So the investments all make sense. That's why I got my Apple shirt on. They are on a absolute tear, up 15% in the last 2 weeks since earnings.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yes,
that's awesome.
I think it's going higher. Apple got up to the low 230s. It bounced back down a little bit, today, but I think that we're going to 250 in the next couple months. And this next month we have is leading up to the iPhone announcement, which we're eyeing for the second week of September. So I mean, we're only a month away.
That's awesome, dude.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm an Apple fanboy, so I'll be the first person to order the iPhone. But technically, a lot of times leads up, pretty strong up to that announcement, and then kind of like sell the news. I mean, literally, if you sell it the day of the announcement, you'll do better. Sell it before Tim Cook goes on stage. For some reason, it just drops 2% every time. No one's ever happy with it. But
as you've learned, it's the same in crypto. Whenever something hits a new all-time high, you might as well sell. Like, you just do it. Literally, and then you'll buy a little cheap. You'll get a discount. I mean, it can swing 5% after a new all-time high and find a new channel and then explode back up. That's all we've done this entire 3 years of Bitcoin. Literally 15,000 spike, crash, new channel, spike, crash, new channel. It's a ladder the whole way. If you zoom out, you can see it.
I was taking some of your investment advice again when my last purchase I just made yesterday to put more money into the Bullish and Beyond kind of test fund that I have. I invested more in Robinhood, and it was down about 5% at the time, so I thought that was maybe a good entry point. And more bullish on Robinhood, even though it's up 500% in the last year. I mean, insane. Kudos to them. But it's just the slickest trading platform. I can't even imagine wanting to trade on like my bank's trading platform versus Robinhood. I mean, it makes it look like MS-DOS versus Web3. Yeah. It's that insane.
It is, yeah. And they're making big plays, and I would consider them a crypto play as well. So when you buy Hood, you're getting crypto exposure. They've bought instead of building, they just bought every piece that you need to become Coinbase. They just bought it, right? They bought an exchange that they're going to put all of their branding on and put in the back end of the Hood app. So you're going to be able to switch from stocks to tokens in the same app. And then eventually they're going to have tokenized securities that you can choose.
Well, right now it's all in there. My stocks and crypto are all on one screen. Yeah.
Yeah. They've bought custodian. They bought a liquidity.
I don't have to go, a lot of times I have a problem even buying crypto in my like Schwab or Merrill accounts. Like, I have to go through like paperwork and hassle. Like, Robinhood, you're good to go.
Yeah. And they're only going to increase. They're going to build a layer 2. They're going to They're going to compete with Coinbase on every metric, and you're getting into in terms of product
And
development.
Coinbase is a much bigger valuation. So if that's the case, and it's even easier to use, then
That's my point. It They are going to compete on every vector. It'd be like buying Coinbase in 2022 in terms of product development. They're a couple years
wow.
behind, but I think they have a different demographic than Coinbase, and I think that demographic is only going to grow. I mean, we're having kids, like young people will be mobile first.
Yeah.
So, I think they have a serious horse in that race, and I think they are undervalued in a 5-year time schedule.
I can set up my kid with a little Robinhood account, play around there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
One
pretty
one
cool.
feature I really liked, I was buying some call options the other day, and they have a predicted profitability that's basically doing a live Black-Scholes formula for you that you can pick the date and the price of where it's going to be at, and it estimates exactly what your profitability will be at that point in time at that price.
Hmm.
And that is something I found super interesting because trying to figure out the timing to sell an option, you could be, way in the money, which means that you're in the green, but it might not be, over time. So you have to
Yeah.
find that right exit point, and you can kind of, time it much better now, I think, but by seeing that versus trying to run an options model, which the formula is absolutely nuts. If anyone out there is curious and Google's the Black-Scholes formula, it is not a basic math equation.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. Do
There's
you
a
think people are going to be using Robinhood with like stable coins in terms of like actually transferring them? Do you think that's going to be one of the top platforms that we would see? Like where are people going to be actually transferring their stable coins?
It's most likely so from there's different layers to this. At the app layer, where the user has the stablecoin experience,
Yeah,
there will be, and I kid you not, millions of stablecoins eventually. So you're going to
everyone's got a stable
interact
coin.
every bank. It makes no sense to like do anything else. Like that's why you see so many people filing for an issuer's license per the Genius Act now, right?
Okay.
Every single financial institution can have one. They can become an issuer. The reason why they want to do that is they pay, you know, let's call it 200 basis points to intermediaries to settle all of their reporting and transactions and everything that blockchain does automatically. They are
Yep.
paying a lot of money, and some of them have tens of trillions of dollars. So it's a serious problem. It's literally billions in years.
That's a lot of money they could save.
They could save all that, or better yet, they
Make the
could make
money on
money
it.
on it. Because
Yeah.
if they become an issuer of their own stable token and they denominate their business on their own platform, basically they turn the dollar, they collect the dollars and then they issue for free the same amount of tokens. It doesn't cost them anything to mint a token.
Yep.
Then they
Yep.
take those dollars and buy T bills and get free yield. So they can make money by
Just like
doing it.
Circle. Yep.
Just like Circle. I mean, that's why I don't like Circle long term. It is going to become a highly, especially with the Genius Act, a highly saturated market very quickly.
Okay.
So I would say in general, you're going to be interacting with them wherever you do your
They
financial
have a lot of notoriety just for being kind of the, big
first to
one to go
market.
public. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And they do have some adoption. Tether's way more adopted by like a long shot, 70% more
Okay.
adopted. So, they have in terms of stablecoin market, they have a long way to go, but also they could be passed in market cap tomorrow if JP Morgan launched their own, right? By a significant margin. So actually they would become
Like,
the largest stablecoin issuer in the world if they did that,
wow.
right? So it's a very competitive and saturated market with crazy incentives. So I just don't see anyone not issuing a token if they can afford to do so.
Okay. So those
Um,
tokens then wouldn't go through Robinhood. Then you'd be trading on, Bank of America or Schwab or, wherever.
it wouldn't even be a trade.
Not a trade.
Your account would just be stable tokens instead. It would
Okay.
become a wallet with stable tokens instead of a
Got it.
account with dollars. And it's an accounting.
Okay.
To be honest, they're changing databases. That's all they're doing, right?
So I was
And
almost thinking like, would kind of like Square, being a payment terminal, I wonder if Robinhood would ever have, like a payment terminal type thing, and they interact right at the business level, and they collect the stable coins, and just transfer them from wallet to wallet that way.
So what they could do is partner with a credit card company, right?
Yeah.
And get a card that uses
Well,
your
they have a
stable
credit card.
tokens.
Get the Robinhood card, so they can make their own Robinhood stablecoin card, I guess.
Yeah, and then if you fund the exchange with your dollars instead of a bank, you would have access to those stable tokens through that card,
Yeah.
right? That would be a way they could play in that space, but
Okay.
realistically, there's going to be a lot of stable tokens. There already is. I mean, there's hundreds.
There's already
now.
hundreds, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's hundreds now. There will be thousands, tens of thousands, and so on. Just in America, right?
I
You
could
got
have,
every government
I could have my own
jurisdiction.
stable coin. I could mint some, Brian the MacMan coins,
Yeah, as long as you were a financial institution and you had a 1-to-1 ratio of T-bills, but that's what the Genius Act basically explains.
Okay.
It just lays out how you can issue them, how they, what are the back end, how do you manage it to make it, correct, things like that.
Well, with all these stable coins coming out, I just learned from you that Ethereum is basically, running the back end of a lot of these stable coins, like majority. That and Tron, I think, are the biggest, you said. Would you give everyone a free lesson on what exactly is happening with Ethereum and why it's so important to these stable coins?
Yeah, it is not a coincidence that the Genius bill passes and then Ethereum prints 3 back-to-back, week to week.
It's up, what, 50% this month or more? I mean, it's insane.
It's up. It's averaged like 38% a week, right?
It's one of my only misses. I sold it like 6 weeks ago. Hadn't done anything for the longest time.
That's why we're long.
I put it in Bitcoin, so I mean, I'm not like,
right.
I didn't flush it down the toilet or something like that.
Right.
But wow.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
And it is bonkers.
This only happens in crypto.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you see why I don't like to sell? Do you get it?
I hardly ever sell. This is one of the most rare sells I've had, and it was just a rotation. I just had I had a stronger conviction that in 10 years Bitcoin would be higher, and I actually still think that. I don't maybe know enough about why Ethereum is going to be the most used, but I don't know if it's going to be the most used 10 years from now.
So I might be able to help you with that, with this explanation, and hopefully the audience can appreciate it. So in that reality we just covered, right? Circle plus every bank plus literally every financial institution that can get their hands on a stablecoin, they will. When they decide to do those things, they are going to choose which database they switch over to issue a stable token. That database has to be a blockchain.
Yep.
And that blockchain has to allow for smart contracts, which are how stable tokens function. You can't have a stable token without smart contracts.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Bitcoin could not be the database chosen for a stable token.
Okay. Not even an option.
Not even an option. Ethereum is...
HBAR is one of the ones too?
Hedera.
HBAR?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
You could issue a stable token on Hedera. Or XRP, or XLM, or Solana, Avalanche, Ethereum, Tron. There's a lot of options. Any smart contract.
Why is everyone gravitating towards Ethereum?
Ethereum is the most secure database in the world. It has 400,000 computers running its software. You would need 51% of them locally accessed, right?
Can't hack it.
It's unhackable. And trust me, if you think I'm lying, why hasn't Bitcoin
isn't it kind of slow though?
It's slow compared to everything else in crypto, but incredibly fast.
Wouldn't that be bad in the future? Like, let's say 5 years from now, if there's a million stable coins, like you just said, if half of them are running on Ethereum, it feels like it would really drag.
What you're talking about is going from 3-day settlement to like anything under $500 on average to 30 seconds. And then what you just talked about is the difference between 30 seconds and 1 second.
Got it.
So, like,
Not gonna take that
realistically,
long.
for a transaction that you do at a bank, 30 seconds is sufficient considering how secure the network is. It's
Got
never
it.
been
Okay.
down. It has 100% liveness. It is ran by volunteers for profit. And it is the most decentralized blockchain, period, end of story, outside of Bitcoin.
Well, that makes sense then. If I was launching a coin, I'd want the top security.
Exactly. So it's the most secure. It currently has 50% of all stablecoins being issued on its database.
Wow.
The second runner-up is Tron at 34%. So those two together have more than
Mass
3/4
majority, yeah.
of the
It's not even
stable
close.
coins. It's not even close.
It's like Apple and Samsung with the phones back in the day. You just dominate.
Yeah, dominate. And
Yeah.
as people are building, all these filings to issue stable coins, all that stuff, they are going to choose Ethereum most likely because Tron is outside of America. Tron is the global play.
Okay.
They are in LATAM, Asia, Europe, and they
Got
use
it.
Tether, which is a Taiwanese obfuscated private stablecoin.
Okay.
Right? That makes people uncomfortable in America. As it
Sounds
should.
like people would actually want to spin up more of these private networks, across the world. There might be some, play for someone to make another network that could, rival Ethereum. I don't know if anyone's working on that or that's the plan of this, other networks you mentioned, like the Solana and the Avalanches of the world. But
Yeah.
it seemed like there'd be some big long term. It seemed like there'd be some huge play into having the most secure, but the future of that network, whatever that would look like. I mean, AI might be able to help figure that out in a few years. Write a program more secure than Ethereum. Go.
Yeah. The actual thing that needs solved for all of that to happen is you need to be able to maintain performance across a decentralized network. So why
Yeah,
Ethereum is slow is also why it's secure.
that makes sense.
Yeah, in cybersecurity, a great security measure is redundancy. Right? So if
400,000 redundancy is it's redundant as it gets.
Yeah, and every 30 seconds they update and they ask each other, is it
Make
good?
sure it's
The state updates every 30 seconds forever and they all cross-reference
That's
each other.
cool.
That makes a blockchain network. So
yeah.
literally if one computer has a flaw or sees a flaw in a ledger, like, hey, someone just paid $1 for 100,000 Ether, as an example. All of the other nodes can see that
Yeah.
and stop it. Just, nope, that's not true. Every other computer says it was for $10 million, right?
Yeah. It just
So,
ends. Cut
right.
them off.
And that has worked 9 years with zero interruption.
I like it. One computer
zero,
does a false report and you just cut it out of the network. No,
Yeah.
No thanks.
Ethereum is the slowest blockchain, but it is more secure than anything that
Cool.
the best people that are using today. Like,
Well, I don't know if I need to go buy back into it now or not. It's up freaking 100%, less than 2 months. But
I could see 10K soon. I could.
be impressive. I mean, we're on a massive bull run right now. We have to save some of this bullish conversation, for the next episode because we are laying so much information. We are bullish on Nvidia, Ethereum, Robinhood, Apple. Wow, things are popping. Thank you everyone for tuning in with us for another incredible bullish episode. Stay hungry, stay curious, have fun out there.
See everybody.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.